morning, guys. It's Nick and Zoe at Chestnut Hills Farmstead. I don't think there's any doubt what time of the day it is. So Zoe and I came down to the public area at our local lake for the sunrise this morning just to start y'all off. And we get lots of questions about our area. We're going to answer some of those. So I'm not sure if people are really curious about the area that we're from, or if it's just a backdoor way of asking about the town Cog Hill lives in. But either way, we figured today we would try to answer some of your questions and show you some of that before we get to the farm. We're going to take you along to the farm too, so don't throw a fit. We got to go take care of the animals and everything else, but we're just starting out kind of showing you a typical Saturday around our area. We started y'all out this morning, a beautiful sunrise on Lake Mitchell. And this is a public recreation area. It's a boat launch. There's a pavilion over there that you can fish from and cook. We're actually at the public swimming area. And there's a little roped off area for kids to swim and a little pavilion here. This area is pretty much at the end of the road we live on. So it's not too far from where we still live. Y'all know we don't live on the farm. So this area is really close to our house. So you don't get to see that a lot, but we do get to access this whenever we have time. And we are very lucky in the fact that this is on one end of our town, and there's actually another entirely different lake on the north end of our town. That's Lay Lake. So let's go show you some of our favorite spots.
Well, when you're up this early to see the sunrise, there's only one thing that you can do on a Saturday morning in our little town, and that's to go get breakfast. The place that we've showed you guys before getting lunch, which is Main Street Cafe, is not open on Saturdays because they are open on Sunday. But we do have another one which is just right beside it, which is the Dinner Bell. We're going to go grab us a bite to eat before we go get the kids up.
I'm sure some of you are going to know exactly the kind of place I'm talking about. Where you go in, where we just had breakfast. It's the kind of place you walk in, and once you finally get to sit down at your table, from having to make your way through everybody you know in town, then everybody that comes in the door has to walk by your table and say hello, ask about the football team, ask about church, whatever. And then you always have the table of men in the corner. They got a couple of weeks before they start critiquing the Friday night before high school football team. So this morning they were just solving the world's problems. Now in a couple of weeks, when you walk in, it'll all be about what happened on the Friday night before. But if you know the kind of place, that's where it was. And if you haven't, then you're just not from small town. Time to go to the local feed store. Zoe's got to grab chicken feed. So this is where everybody you watch on YouTube in this area gets their feed. Now, where else besides small town Alabama would the owners of the feed store also own the barbershop? Yep, right next door. And another old feed store right across the street just closed, unfortunately. But this used to be a very busy downtown area when I was a kid. You see, looking back toward the corner park, you see the lights over the street where we've shown y'all events. All of this tied into the local railroad depot. And you can see the big building back there in the back. That was the hotel.
There's a corner park that Nick just mentioned. This is where we've had several events that we've shared with you guys around the holidays and for different things taking place in our little town.
Speaking of parks, this is where y'all see us spend so much of our time during the spring and early summer. Right across there is where we take y'all to the Peach Jam over by the football field. Time to check the farm P.O. box. See what kind of things we had come in this week. On that note, we've got a package that came in for Rhett that we want to show on the live tomorrow. That live will be on Sunday at 8 p.m. Central. But we had someone send us a huge blessing, a very special gift. It was way beyond what we could have ever expected coming out of that. It didn't have a return address. It didn't have a name on it. But we wanted to acknowledge you. If you're the one that sent that, we never asked for something like that, but you have no idea how big that was. And especially at that time, that was a huge blessing. So thank you.
We can't forget about our little town sewing shop, So Charming, that you guys have heard so much about. This is their little storefront. They do big work in that little building.
Doesn't every small town, especially a farming community, need its fair share of tractor dealerships? Now, all of this complex is where you used to see the kids going to school. The middle school, intermediate school, and elementary school are all right here together. And here was Mackenzie's old high school, and where Chance and Rhett would have eventually been. There's where so much of the topics of conversation in our little breakfast spot will kick off in a couple of weeks. That will be the main discussion in there. Here's Rhett's new school, and here is Mackenzie and Chance's new school. Much smaller. This is where our Saturday morning conversations start now. For those of you that aren't up to date on that, in an effort for simplifying things and just making a much simpler life and better class sizes, we changed the kids to a smaller school. Because we're a small town with a huge school. You saw that complex of schools. So where Rhett went to school last year, pre-K through 3rd grade had 980 something kids. That same age range where he is now has like 150. So it's better class sizes, and even though we live in a small town, now we go to a small school. We went from a 6A high school down to a 1A. It's just a much better situation, we feel like. And for anybody that's concerned about me showing where the kids go to school, that's a simple Google search. That's not, I mean, we've talked about several times that we had moved our kids to the Verbena school system, so that's pretty simple to figure out. But we are blessed in our county, and every school in our county school system does have a school resource officer. So anybody that wants to do something foolish, well, their chances are very slim.
Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed that little small glimpse into just the little town, the little atmosphere that we live in. But enough of that. Let's get to the farm and get these animals fed.
It's too early in the morning for y'all to be worried about sitting in the shade. What you doing up there, Obi? Here come Holly. Do what?
The wagon.
Put them in the wagon.
Inside. I keep them in the wagon.
Okay.
We got help.
We got all our help over here. Hoss brought Honey and Hank to show them the barn, I guess.
They come over here all the time. They spend lots of time over here. So does Miss Brooke and Mr. Jason. They spend lots of time.
Yeah, we saw Jason walking up the road. It's almost time for the baby Guineas to go to Cog Hill.
They're pretty good size.
Almost time to drop y'all off. It's time to get out of the brooder.
It's the only way to keep them all together in here so we can gather them up and take them.
Well, 2 of them are a little bigger than the others. Remember, they were a little earlier.
Those were the 2 surprise eggs, but the rest of these are the ones that we found in the tall grass.
That's right.
And they hatched a week later.
Alright, let me get their water. Alright, that's got everybody here taken care of. Got the donkeys and alpacas fed. The kids are meeting us over at the farm. They're over there feeding the cows and the goats, chickens that are over there. I know today was a much different video, but we get a lot of questions about how things are around our town, and we get questions about the kids' schools and things like that, so we just thought we would show you. And our channel is not just the farm. I know for the most part it is, and it's all tied back into the farm, but the channel is our family and what we're doing. I think if we just showed feeding animals every day, while there's a lot of you that would be great with that, I think that would just be boring. It would be boring to us to video. It'd be boring for most of you to watch. So we try to include everything involving our family. And that's just what this channel is. So we hope you enjoy that kind of thing. And of course, there's going to be plenty of farming content. There's lots of gardening content coming up. Y'all have seen a little bit of Zoe's beds. We've still got a lot of bed work to do. We've got a lot of fencing to do. I mean, the farm stuff is not going away. We've still got a lot of it to do. We're just trying to include everything involving our family. I showed you and talked a little bit about small town life, and Alabama is just part of being in the South. Fall is football. Well, today is our first jamboree game, our only jamboree game. We'll have to actually have our first regular season game in a couple of weeks. Both boys have jamboree games this evening. The video will be out. The video will come out as Chance's team is kicking off, so I won't be able to include that. Maybe I can show a little bit of it on Tuesday, depending on availability for filming, things like that. But we've got that to do this evening. Mackenzie's boyfriend Maddox is actually driving over from Mississippi to watch the games and to be there this evening. So we won't be able to catch all that on video. But let's see if my old buddy Coach Andy can revive another team. We took a team that had 5 victories in 5 years and went undefeated and won a championship last year. And see if old Coach Nick can revive a defense to be the #1 in the league again. We'll get started and we'll show you, let you know how it turned out. Let's go to the farm. I don't know what it's doing.
It's being fair.
Zoe said a feral in the wild. I think that's kind of redundant, because I think feral is wild.
We tried to civilize ours.
But there it is. The elusive feral. We've tried socializing it. We tried civilizing it. And about all we managed to do was potty train it. Other than that, it's still feral. Good morning, Bruno. Why's your pail turned over? Why'd you turn your pail over, Bruno? See, we didn't leave out animal stuff. Zoe's sneaking up on Bruno. Yeah, who you think you are? You sneaking up on me? He'll just go the other side. You won't leave him alone.
I know. That's a good boy.
Look at that big old neck on Ferdinand. Ferdinand, you ain't a baby no more.
He's not. You need to find you a clip of him when we brought him home.
I want you to open that back door. And you're going to have to do it quick and get out of the way, because that bull may shoot out of there. Okay. You hear me? All right. Grab the door. All right, move. Quickly. Up. Look at that monster.
Come on, TBone.
Whew, I hope he's not too big and he might hurt Cinco.
Everybody meet. Tentatively, he is named TBone.
We're going to change that.
But we're going to change that.
We're going to change his name to TBone, because I don't want people thinking the wrong thing about his name, because he is not to eat.
But they hear something else.
Yeah.
He's slicked off. and gotten darker and grown bigger.
Lots bigger.
Now they might run after them dogs. They ain't gonna push me away, but they might push them dogs away.
Max got the water trailer. Get the water cleaned up and refilled. Naturally, you know, we finished the farm chores with a dead battery. The camera died. I guess I used up too much battery on that time-lapse sunrise this morning. Either way, we are home, changed out, dressed, ready to go for football. We'll see you guys next time at Chestnut Hill Farmstead.